SCI-Arc is great at challenging the status quo of architectural thinking, architectural education, redefining the project and the practice.
SCI-Arc in the last 50 years was local.
In the last 50 years was innovation.
A trailblazer.
Ray started off with a school that was very open to have students and faculty be able to have the venue to explore the perimeter, the outer edges of architecture. It was a seamless move from Pomona to all of a sudden it seemed like within weeks there was a new school.
In the beginning, everything is trial and error. You don't have enough knowledge, you don't have enough prior experience to really have any way of projecting into the future. This is what my ambitions are and this is what our objective is. What I remember then and what I remember now more than ever, and I believe it to be medical fact, is anything imaginable is possible.
What SCI has done is to show what is possible, to change certain cliches about architecture and architecture school is supposed to be.
I see the last 50 years as 3 overlapping SCI-Arcs. There's a first SCI-Arc that was very much Ray Cappy's vision of the school, and it was a vision of an architecture school that taught students and faculty to imagine architecture as an agent for bettering the world and bettering itself.
In our generation at SCI-Arc, the idea of understanding how things are made or being interested in that.
What SCI-Arc really provided for me was a source of self-expression and experimentation and really kind of criticism. I think that was really promoted by the school and the instructors especially.
The idea that you are a better designer if you are actually engaged in the making process or the understanding of that making process was part of the ethos, and that continued both in myself and my husband Rick Gooding's practice. We are still people who are basically craftspeople, and that came from SCI-Arc.
There's a second SCI-Arc that would have to do with really interrogating the possibilities of architecture and challenging its limits and turning architecture on itself to some degree just to imagine what's possible within it. I think of Eric Moss and Michael Rotundi and Tom Main and their generation as leading avatars of that SCI-Arc.
I came here in 1991 as an international student in the MArch 3 program at the time. So if you ask me the most important thing about education, it generates in you this inner barometer. You feel the pressure of have you reached your limit as a designer, your limit as an explorer, your limit as a researcher. And you can fool somebody else out there about this is the best you can do, but you cannot fool yourself.
My year was when Robert Mangurian took over the organization of the MArc. He and Coy Howard were instrumental. Everybody helped each other because if I have a good project, it means you can have a good project too.
In the last 20 years, a third SCI-Arc has emerged. My generation of faculty at SCI-Arc started teaching as the digital project was really coming into its own and seeing what the possibilities could be for new technology as it met design questions and shifted their kind of possibilities and potential.
There's a lot of looking at how things are done today in the world and revisiting it and looking at opportunities to redefine it. And I think that's something that's unique and really intriguing about SCI-Arc.
Within the framework of your education, you're able to design and document and construct, what turned out to be a multi-award-winning piece of architecture. And so you come out of your kind of architecture school experience with this built project under your belt, which is just not, to say it's not the norm is an understatement.
The constant creativity flow, everything's constantly changing, which I think has attracted everyone that I know to the school.
That just kind of sets up a very interesting, just set of projects that come out of different studios and stuff. We're always learning from each other. Yeah, I'm gonna miss that a lot.
SCI-Arc in the next 50 years is a radical institution.
In the next 50 years will be international.
Unknown.
SCI-Arc is definitely gonna have like a satellite campus on Mars or something.
Looking at new technologies, new ideologies.
To imagine a future that's better for everyone, more inclusive, more colorful.
I think that SCI-Arc in the next 50 years is going to be about engagement. Engaging the city of LA. We're going to be engaging different communities. We're going to be re-engaging the construction industry. So I really think it's going to be about opening the doors of the school.
Eyes of the world are upon SCI-Arc. A lot of people are watching us. I think there is a lot at stake in the decisions we make in the next 50 years. But for better or worse, we're now in a leadership position.
I think what SCI-Arc should do in the next 50 years is to keep reinventing itself as often as possible. It's not different than the last 50 years in that sense, pushing what is possible, what else is possible, and the possible keep changing. So hopefully SCI-Arc will change with that.
Architecture is a window into Wonderland, so it's a gift. And perhaps in some ways, the greatest gift anybody could ever be given is being a part of SCI-Arc since its inception and still being here. And being around young, optimistic people like yourselves and the students that really believe no matter what's happening, that the future is bright.